Hey, Jeremy here from Lat SEO. In this video, I'm walking through a full site audit of chargerwater.com, looking at their sites to see what should be done from an SEO perspective, including some optimization recommendations for technical SEO, on-page and content, and then looking at some structured data and more technical AI SEO implementation as well. So first thing to do is look at the site itself. And I like to just do a quick view to see what's going on, get a little bit of understanding about the brand. Do they have multiple locations, which it looks like they do here? And to confirm, if we go to the bottom, you can see each of these has their own page also, which is potentially a very strong SEO play. And to go through all of this in more detail, what I've done here is put together this little doc to stay organized. So we have the audit here. I want to look at technical, on-page, content and keywords, authority and links, and then quick win opportunities for them as well. So first thing to look at, technical SEO, I like to do a site operator search. So we go into Google, type in site : and we add in the full domain name here. And the interesting thing here too with a site operator search is you can use modifiers in a site operator search. And I'll show you that in a second here. But first, what I want to do is just look at and see general optimization of their pages on their site that are indexed in Google. And you can see here the title of each page, the description, and then the URL structure and the page title and information above it. Now, first thing I see here is their homepage is optimized as, or at least indexed as, charger water treatment products. And then we have a page here, looks like Kanai, I believe is how you pronounce that, water treatment supplier, water treatment professionals, that's how that's optimized. Their blog, a total connect page, charger prime, commercial page, distributor locations, and we can look at multiple pages here. Now, a modifier we could do, would do site : the domain name.com or whatever plus, and then we would do something like commercial water treatment. And now we can see any page on their site that has this phrase in quotes on it. And this then tells us potentially a couple different things. First, is that keyword on their website anywhere? Are they optimized for this key phrase? Secondly, we can look and see if there is a risk of them being over-optimized or having keyword cannibalization. And keyword cannibalization, if you're unfamiliar with what that is where you have multiple pages on your site optimized for the same keyword or phrase or very closely related keyword or phrase. And the reason why this is something to look at is because this can actually make it more difficult or impossible for you to rank for that keyword or phrase you want to rank for, because search engines get confused about which page is best to serve from your domain to the search results. So oftentimes what happens is you'll see significant bouncing with your rankings, or you won't rank at all. So that is absolutely something to avoid whenever possible as you're building content and optimization strategies for your site. So as we look here, we can look more at specific keywords, but I wanted to just do a quick view and see, is there anything going on with indexing that I could see? And I don't. And what I'm looking at here is the homepage is indexed first, which is great. And then we have some additional pages. So we're not going to spend a ton of time going through there. Now, other technicals to look at, as I've mentioned before, would be looking at structured data. And the reason why structured data is important, especially for a multi-location B2B type site, is we want to make sure each of these individual location pages has its own structured data markup, because each of these pages has their own location. And this is their business location the address of this actual location. So because of this, we need to make sure structured data is set up correctly for this. So to check this, what we can do is copy the URL of an individual location page. And we can look at this one of two ways. First, if we look at the source of this page, let me zoom this in slightly here. I have this all highlighted because I'll show you another way to look at this as well. And you can either read through all the code, or you can just type in schema, and then we get to where the schema is added to the site. And it looks like the site is built on WordPress. Secondly, it looks like schema is optimized by Schema Pro plugin. And we have a local business data type here. And if you're unfamiliar with what's going on, basically I'm just looking at the code to see what is added into the code here in terms of structured data for them. Now, here is something that is alarming and should be fixed. The address they have set here is for Morton Grove, Illinois. And to double check this, now the other thing too, it looks like they do have all of these site navigation elements set up here for additional locations. You can kind of see all of the cities here. But if we look at, we'll take this URL, I will go to a rich results test. This is on Google. And we paste that URL in and we'll test the URL. Whoops, we'll test it and see what this actually tells us in terms of how this is marked up. And then it'll give us the actual location as well. So this can be a secondary confirmation. So now you can see here, they have 3 valid structured data elements set up. And they have an articles data type set for Bedford, which is a location that's set there. And that is different than the Nashua one that we're looking at. And then they have local business set here as well. Let's see what this address is pulling. And this is pulling, like I said, the Illinois address. So interestingly enough, Google or any search engine is under the assumption that this page that is actually located in Nashua, New Hampshire is optimized for and set up to be ranking in Illinois. And then you can see here the actual geo coordinates set up here as well. So this is something that should be set up individually on every single location page and set with the address of that branch or of that office location. Now, next thing to look at then is just as a triple check. What I did is went into ChatGPT and pasted some of the code and said, based on the code on this page, where is this page properly set up with structured data? What location? And then I pasted in the HTML. And as you scroll down here, I had to cut a bunch of the code out because it was too long. But at the bottom here, it says, Morton Grove, Illinois, the local business JSON LD this is the structured data markup text. Address is the Morton Grove location. And then it says here, the article or the structured data points to the headquarters. Let me remove my video. Headquarters in Illinois, not Nashua. Also, there's an article schema referencing the Bedford page URL, which is another mismatch. So from a technical SEO perspective, there are some gaps here that should be cleaned up and optimized for them. And without looking at every single location page, I would assume by default, they're all set to the Morton Grove, Illinois location. And again, as a quick summary, the reason why structured data is so important is this helps search engines better understand your brand, your site, your location, and especially if you have local. Your actual location with geo coordinates should be optimized to help you rank better, not only in organics, but also in local as well. And there's are also AI implications and AI ranking implications with structured data. So absolutely something that I always recommend having set up whenever possible. So if we go here, technical, we just make gaps with structured data to be improved, location set, default location set to Illinois. And then I'll just leave it at that. On page. Let's look at some on-page info here. So this is the Danville location. Actually, let's look at some of the actual product types here. So if we look at like whole house filters, let's see what's going on here, how they're optimized, and if there's anything that could be cleaned up for them from this perspective. So as a quick glance, if we do an inspection here, we look at whole house filters. This is set to be H1, so that is good. So they're optimized for whole house filters. And let's see, actually, you know what? Let's go to Ahrefs here and quickly we'll look at this and then I'll dig into the keyword data. We'll open this up as well. So the first thing here to look at DR40. This is on a 0 to 100 scale. DR stands for domain rating, basically measuring how strong or how authoritative their site is. And 40, generally speaking, is going to be a relatively strong domain. But we're always looking at the competing domains that you're working to rank against. If you're up against other websites in the 10 to 50 range, then you probably have a good chance at ranking for the keywords you want to rank for. But if you're going up against .govs, if you're looking at water treatment, things like that, or you're up against 80s or 90s super authoritative sites like big box store, hardware stores, things like that, some of the more specific, the broad keywords will be more difficult to rank for, but targeting the more specific keywords is something that you can very likely achieve to get rankings and traffic from. And then traffic, looks like they do have decent rankings here and decent traffic coming to their site each month, although it looks like they lost some rankings here over the past year or so. Now, let's look at some keywords here to see. We look at their keyword data. Let's look and see what they're actually ranking for. We'll switch this to US and we'll filter, or we'll do a sort by volume. So water softener system, that gets a ton of search volume here. Look and see what's going on with this. It's going to be a massive opportunity. It's a huge spike here for some reason. Interesting. Okay, water softener system for home. Let's do all these keywords. And this is where as you're doing initial keyword research, you can see water softeners. Something happened with water softeners, and this trend is crazy for these right now. There are 2,274 different keywords that are related to water or contain water softener system, 240,000 searches every single month, and 362 global searches per month. So potentially huge opportunity here for this segment. And just to confirm, yeah, they have water softeners, water softening products. Let's see, they have information about it. Their content actually and the site structure here is actually set up pretty well. And they do have some questions in here, although they could probably be marked up a little bit better. How they work, that's good. And generally speaking, from a content perspective, especially if you're working to rank in AI, having a statement or a question followed by the answer immediately after is something that is working extremely well right now. So for example, how water softening systems work. Hard water passes through the media tank that contains resin beads coated with sodium ions. The calcium and magnesium ions are exchanged for sodium or potassium ions, thus softening the water. It actually probably could be improved slightly if you wanted to improve or add this section first, or kind of wordsmith it a little bit. But in general, this is done really well to not talk about the benefits of water softening systems and just adding in a bunch of extra text or content that doesn't need to be there. So this is structured pretty well. So let's look back at keyword data here, water softener system for home. And let's look at this. So this is a potential gap. They have water softening products. And if we go back to the keywords, water softener system for home, cost, best, hard water softener system. And if we look at water softening products, and I realize their site is set up to be optimized for this, but here is a massive opportunity potentially for them. This page is optimized for water softening products that gets 10 searches per month. Water softening products here. And the title here is water softener products, water softeners and treatment. And to confirm that, you're not seeing that on the tab here, but if I do a view page source, I'll show you the actual title that I'm seeing. And if we do, it's right here. So we see right here, right? Title tag, water softener products, water softeners and treatment, and then charger water treatment products. So actually let's do water softener products. So they have water softening and water softener. See if there's a little bit different here. Okay, so water softener products, search volume 70. Now, it looks like they probably have, this would be a good spot actually to test let's see if they have a water softener system primarily optimized somewhere on their site with the site operator search. So site chargerwater.com plus, and we do quotes, water softener system. And they do have, okay, they're water softeners. So they do have water softener system on the page, but it's not in primary content. So as we look here at this page, let me zoom this out again, and we look at water softener system. So they have it on the page one time, manually controlled, primarily used as an acute water softener system. These simple lever controlled, blah, blah, blah. So from my initial perspective here, looking at this, and I would assume you would think so too, search volume here for water softener system, 73,000 searches per month. And instead of optimizing for something like water softening products that gets 10, or water softener products that gets 70. huge, huge difference and massive traffic opportunity there. Now, again, some of these would not make sense. And ranking for, actually, let's look at who's ranking for water softener system. Zoom this out slightly and see here. So we have, this is a very interesting opportunity actually. We have water softener system here, search results. So what you're looking at now are the top ranking websites on page 1 for this key phrase. And what I'm looking at briefly here is this DR column. And this tells me, like I mentioned before, is there a potential chance that a website like Charger Water, if we go back to the overview here, just so you can ensure, so DR40. Now, if they're all 90s, then it's going to be difficult to rank for this key phrase. But if we are in the ballpark with some of them, then there's a potential that we could actually rank here. So we have Home Depot, DR90. Then we have APEC Water, 55, Culligan, 73, Aqua Sure USA, 36. So they're higher than them. One of the pages ranking on, or the sites ranking on page 1 for this key phrase. And this page alone is generating AquaSure 10,600 visitors to this page every single month. And it looks like the estimated traffic value just from organic traffic to this page is $30,000 per month from just this one single page. And then we have Reddit, 95, energy.gov, 91, Leaf Home, 52, and then we get to some other here as well. So there is one site on page 1 that they're actually stronger than from a DR perspective. And then we have, this is the other thing to look at too. DR is not an official ranking metric and does not mean you're going to rank higher just because you have a stronger or a higher DR. You have APEC Water here at 55, outranking Culligan at 73. And the reason for that is unsure with just this set of metrics here, because you would think a 73 should rank higher than a 55. And a 36 should not be outranking a 95 or a 91. But there are other factors at play here. And without looking at content, how well each page is optimized individually, it's very difficult to say. And then also looking at links, there may be links behind the scenes that we can't see here. So a lot of different data points to look at potentially, but either way, there is opportunity here for Charger Water to rank for this key phrase based on what I'm seeing, and massive traffic opportunity at that. So if we go back to the document here, on-page SEO, gaps with keywords, huge opportunity for water softener system. Actually, that on-page and content keywords kind of get together. So we'll blend these together. Content keywords. All right, now let's look at, I wanted to look at their links a little bit and see what's going on there. So if we look at their anchors, and anchor text, if you're unfamiliar with that term, what that is generally going to be the blue underline text on a website that links to a different website. So as an example here, if we look at their site, each of these links, that's not underlined on their site, but water softeners is the anchor text used for us to get to the water softeners page. Iron and H2S filters is the anchor text used to link to that page. That's what an anchor text is. Now, if we look at the anchors here, I like to look a little bit and see, are they over optimized with anchors? And that is something you want to make sure to avoid as well, especially if you're doing any link building, is if you have all of your links pointing to your website, for example, if they are all the exact same thing, like every single link is water treatment or every single link is water treatment products, for example, that tells Google or search engines that you are maliciously optimizing your site and doing something that is generally frowned upon and can hurt your ranking. So when you're doing link building and building anchor text or links to your website, you want to make sure to have a diversified portfolio of anchor text. And it should include a lot of branded anchors like this, domain anchors, and also relevant keyword anchors. So the anchor text they have here is actually pretty solid right now. There's nothing that's sticking out like crazy. These ones here that you see, these telegrams and stuff, these are just spam that people are trying to get awareness with their stuff. So don't worry about those. Now, from a quick link building perspective, decent anchor text profile, room to improve link quantity and quality, of course. I never recommend just building a ton of links unless they are quality links. So quality, quantity, and quality, of course. Quick wins. Now, what I would do for this, if I were to be optimizing this, is look at a little bit more about the keywords here. So as we look at like water softener system, for example, to look and see where we could potentially get some content on the site that can rank basically immediately and potentially. So if we look at, here's one way. I actually just put together a document about keyword research that talks about the full research process for optimizing or researching and finding keywords that you can get content that would rank potentially immediately on your site, and specifically related to industrial or B2B style key phrases. So if you're interested in that document, I have a link to that in the comments in the description below. Take a look at that. It's extremely, kind of like I'm doing here, very detailed, walks you through the exact process. And one of the strategies in there is to look at finding key phrases like this. So one example would be if we do, let's look at water softener system here. And actually, this is where I just was. So if we add a filter here for word count, let's look at filter or words that contain phrases that contain at least 6 words. And we'll show the results here. And we still have 968 keywords that contain at least 6 words. And here's a potential opportunity: water softener system for well water. So let's see if they have this on here. Go back to the site operator search. They don't have that anywhere. And that key phrase, water softener system for well water, let's see if they have anything in here for just well water. They do. So it looks like their products can help right here. Whether you're on city or well water, we can help. So the a massive potential keyword opportunity would be water softener system for well water. So if we go back to the document here, optimize page for water softener system for well water. And there are probably, remove this link and let's style this nicely. So this, we can, water softener system for well water. And then if we go back to the keyword chart here, how much is a water softener system? So this content could go on the actual page, whole house water softener and filtration system. And this one here, if we look at search results for this one, geez, this is a great opportunity also. 23 DR, 36, 55, 90, 88, 95. So this one, we go back here, we look at the parent topic is whole house water filter. This is whole house water softener and filtration system. That might be their actual product name, but let's do a site operator search here and see. Whole house water softener and filtration system. Not surprising they don't have that whole thing, but if we look at whole house water softener, they don't even have that. That's interesting. Do they have whole house? Okay. So they do have whole house filters. Very interesting. Let's do a quick search on just whole house water softener. And I'll copy this because this one is a good opportunity potentially as well. Whole house water filter and softener. That's what I think we were just looking at. But this one, if we look here too, this is crazy, the opportunity here for this. Yeah, another 23, 36, 55, 47. So they are stronger than a couple of those also. So that would be, I would look at this in much more detail and dig into this significantly, but optimized page. Same thing there. By this. And this is unnecessary, but makes me feel better. So I'm going to do it. And then we'll be done here. All right. This now, these are 2 really solid opportunities here that they don't have any traffic or any keywords on their site for these. And if we look here, water softener system for well water and whole house water softener filtration system. So these two key phrases alone, 2,400 searches per month, 3,500 global searches, and both topics that are not super competitive that they could probably rank for relatively quickly and could drive them a significant amount of business because there are 2,400 people looking for just these two every month. And I didn't spend a lot of time digging through there are probably dozens of other opportunities either to optimize content on these individual pages or create new pages for these specific products or solutions they have for people. Hopefully you got some value from this video. If you did, subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. And I plan to continue posting more content like this, where I'm sharing information about how B2B brands can better optimize their site, get more traffic from search and AI, and generate more revenue from their SEO efforts. And that's it. I'll see you on the next one.